And let me get my desk set up here. Nice. Let's see what happens here. So I'm going to check my phone and see if I'm live. I'm just going to make a quick call. To somebody. I hope I'm live. Yeah, do you see me now?
Let me check.
Just it says Luke at the top. I didn't give it a name.
Okay, hold on. I gotta go to your channel. I'm on YouTube, but I gotta go to
Okay.
your channel.
Okay. So if you're on my channel right now, you're listening to Luke Thornton. Luke Thornton living life. And
Yeah, wait. Hold on. Say something to me.
hey Renee, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel.
Yeah, you on. Where'd you go?
I'm through my I use Riverside
Okay, gotcha.
for my
All right.
production. So
Uh-huh.
I
Okay.
I'm a little bit behind schedule, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. If you could just let other people know that this is where I'm at. I'm live right now.
Okay. It should have popped up.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, it should notify your people. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay. Bye. So I guess I'm going to start all over. So the big whoop is this. Hey, look. Let's get it done. You see that? I'm the birthday boy. And so let's do this a little bit. So I got some great cards from my friends and my nieces, my nephews. I really like that one because my friend Bruce and I, we were talking about what type of Mustang that is because it's got the fastback. So it has to be like, what, 68, 67, 68, 69. So last night they had a party for me and I walked in and check this out. Awesome since 1955. So that was kind of like, I know when I got on this thing, let's do this. When I got on, it was so that you guys can help me plan what my birthday was going to be like, right? Well, my wife, and I'm sorry about the camera stuff here. So my wife, she did something. She really pulled a fast one on me last night. She had a surprise birthday party for me. Can you imagine being my age and having a surprise birthday party? So she was at bar. She had it at Bar Louie. My sister, Dr. Renee, the barber from Healthy Living, she had done all these great decorations. She did all of this. She had these, and she had party favors. My wife had an unlimited bar for about 4 hours, unlimited food. The people at Bar Louie were fantastic. But so she had me fooled. She knows, like a lot of you who follow me on this channel, I'm a big Ohio State fan, right? So I had asked, hey, let's get the guys together. Let's go to a local place I like when I go public to watch a football game. To go there and have my friends over, family over, and we'll watch Ohio State play Wisconsin today. Well, that's what I thought we were going to do. So then I said, well, let's do the YouTube birthday where I have my friends on and they take a quick look and we just talk back and forth. Well, so she surprised me with that birthday party. So I am going to now go ahead and talk about what I was going to talk about anyway. So I had I was trying not to be too much of a geek on all this stuff. I was going to tell you what I've like I said, my perspective over the last. Oh, I forgot this. Dun dun dun. Got the birthday dunce hat. as my sons used to say when they were younger, it's not a party, it's not a birthday party until you have a birthday hat. So I have my birthday hat now. So it's a party. Yay! I wish I had something where I could say kazoo, kazoo. So anyway, hey, so let's go and let's recap some of the things I've seen in seven, seven. Say that one more time. 7 decades of life and experiences, memories, good and bad. I remember my sister and I when we were growing up. I remember I was probably about 8 years old, and that's when you're starting to spatially start to figure out time. Uh, you don't have the empathy about what aging is, but you can do the math. And I remember saying to her, just think, in the year 2000, you're going to be 45 years old. And guess what? This is 2025, and I'm now 70 years old. So that's really something. Along the way in the 60s, when we were growing up, we saw the civil rights movement, and we saw the Voters' Rights Act be initiated because Black people could not vote. We would be challenged to vote. I remember the first time I voted, I was in college. Now that was in the 70s. And, they bust us all down from the campus, and they had lawyers with us, the Black students, so that we could vote without harassment. But now those same laws are, and I'm not trying to get political, but those same laws that gave us the right to vote, to participate in the electoral process, are under attack. It's not right because, you know, if if you don't learn from history, you repeat history. So let's hope. I'm gonna be honest. I'm attending the No Kings rally today, so hopefully I'll see somebody out there. So let's talk about what else I saw. In the 60s, we saw the assassination of a president. First time in a lifetime, John F. Kennedy driving in his car in Dallas. I remember as a kid, we were in school and they sent us all home. And then we later found out it's because, you know, President Kennedy was assassinated. And then we saw the, Vietnam War had started in the 50s, but, really ramped up in the 1960s. We saw the Martin Luther King give the speech, I have a dream. Think about that. I saw that. I remember my dad would come home and we would put on an album, in case you don't know what that is, and we would listen to speeches by on the record player from Dr. Martin Luther King. But I remember Walter Cronkite would show when they were doing that at the mall in Washington D.C. And so let's talk about some of the other things that we saw. Think about this. For again, I'm not political, but the pill was invented in the 1960s. Okay, I got a caller. What's going on,
Cecilia?
Cecilia?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Look.
Yeah.
Okay. Twerk is out here.
Okay. Is she on? Tell her I said hi.
No, no, look at your comments. Everybody, look at your comments. Tell everybody hi.
I can't see the comments because of the platform that I'm using. But Torka, thank you for. I knew you would be here. Thank you so much. And that's man. Torka's a good friend. We've been friends. I don't know. I remember every year the one thing I can always count on. There were two things as you're growing up you can always count on. My Aunt Lula got me hooked on German chocolate cake every year. Our mother passed away in like 1964, but my Aunt Lula stepped in and she raised my sister and I. And but for every year for my birthday, man, up until she died, okay, uh, which was in the 80s, I had a German chocolate cake. No matter where I was at, when I went to college at Ohio State, 4 years, I could always count on the German chocolate cake being sent to me. Somehow I had German chocolate cake. And then the other thing was my good friend Torka. who I met in the I think Torka and I met in the early 80s. But for my birthday, she would always do her rendition of Marilyn Monroe singing Happy Birthday to John F. Kennedy. And that was always a treat I always looked forward to. And so, Torka, I am really glad that you are on with me live today. Um, so I'm going to see so I just got a call from the executive that I'm live, and I just want to um, see comments. I'm going to see if they're on here. So just give me a second. Go over here. I guess if I go to studio, can you still see me? I think so. Let's do it this way. Instead of making all that noise. Let's go to my channel. And I'm live right. Oh, there I am. We're running a little bit. Hey, I love technology. So here, let's do this. I see my sister is out there. Like I mentioned her earlier, Dr. Healthy Living. I got to turn off the reverb. So, um, and oh, see. Anyway, let me just finish telling you about what I've seen in the 70s. And, uh, you know, listen, we saw the Beatles and Motown kick off at the same time. So that was really cool. And, you know, Muhammad Ali duking it out, world champion. I got to watch him, man. We never missed the Muhammad Ali fight when you were a kid. Now, you suffer from a little bit from Schadenfreude. You know, some people want to see him lose, some people want to see him win. I always wanted to see him win. Hey, Lexus, thank you for hopping on and saying happy birthday. I enjoyed you last night at the party. Chaz and Kaylee, thank you so much. It's funny, every time I say your name, Alexis, my Alexis picks it up and tries to say, "I'm answering your question." So that's really funny. Um, so anyway, I saw think about the 60s, man. We had hippies. We did the oh gosh, the big concert. I forget the name of it. Then we saw the great Boston Celtics team win like 11 NBA titles in a row with Bill Russell. You saw I listen, I saw the very first Super Bowl. I have never missed a Super Bowl. I think they started in 1963, and I remember they had it both on CBS and NBC because they carried the Super Bowl at the time. Um, let's see what else. So then we go into the 1970s, and every young man had to register for the draft. I had registered for the draft like everybody else, and I'm a 18-year-old, and so we had a draft lottery to go to Vietnam, and I was in the last year that they did it. My number was 270, which means I had a pretty good chance of not going over to Vietnam because that particular year they ended at we went 1 through 6 based off your birthday, the draft lottery. Um, I got this. So I graduated from high school and I'm working at a racetrack called Waterford Park Racetrack. I'm a bus boy, and I had talked to the guidance counselor at Wellsville High School, and he goes, "So what are your plans?" I said, "Listen, I don't want to go where my dad's at. I don't want to work in a steel mill. I don't want to do what my uncles are doing, working for the railroad, and I certainly don't want to work in a pottery or a coal mine, the area that we're in." That's what he goes, "Well, listen, I got some paperwork here from Ohio State. They're looking for minority students who are pretty good students. You've got excellent grades." He says, "I'm going to submit your paperwork to them." I said, "Okay, we'll see what happens." I didn't know what was going to go, what's going to happen next. And oh yeah, Renee, thank you. That was Woodstock, that music. So anyway, I'm working, and I decide, I don't want to be a boy anymore. And I talked the other busboys into quitting. Bruce Dorsey, who's probably on the he's the one who got me the job over there because he used to be a busboy over there as well. I get home the day I quit. I I swear to God, I get home and you can't see this, but I have this letter. Where is that letter? Oh, oh, and now if I didn't want it, I'd be able to lay my hands on it immediately. Where is it? It didn't fall off, did it? Here it is. So I get home that day. I'll never forget this. This, like you have deep parts in your life that just change you completely. And this changed me, changed my life forever. Okay. Put it up. You can see that. It says the Ohio State University takes pleasure in announcing your admission to University College. What is significant about that is that I didn't know what was going on, but I received a full ride scholarship to Ohio State. All 4 years were paid for through the Freshman Foundation. Now, I know David Love is going to be watching this. I also received at the end of my 4 years at Ohio State the Cogme Scholarship, which paid for grad school, um, which I accepted. And then I decided, you know what? I've been poor my whole life. I'm going to start working. And I did. And so when I was being recruited, I got a chance in the 1970s to got I had all these job offers when I graduated from college. And I got a chance to take my very first plane ride in 1978. Yes, a full ride, Renee. Um, and in 1978, I took my very first plane ride to Chicago. I interviewed with, at that time, the Sears Corporation, and to be accepted into the executive management training program. And it changed my life forever. It's the first time I'd really ever been away from home, my own, and following year. This is what I learned when you get into when they're recruiting you out of college. Okay? I had this conversation with one of somebody who's very close to me. Um, these big companies, they recruit a lot of people, and what they're looking for, did you have to understand how business they may bring in 20 people, but of those 20 people, they're probably only looking to hire about 1 to 2 of them out of that group, and so at the end of your 2 years or so, they're gonna start to weed you out. I had a real good conversation with a friend of mine, and I hope he's gonna look at this, at least this version of it. David, yeah, we were talking about that. David is from Columbus, Ohio, went to Bowling Green State University, and we both ended up in the same program. Me, him, Carl, Tommy Setta, Diane Wilson, Nita Stiggers, man. I remember the guys from Chicago. Um, so anyway, if you're watching live right now, hey, put a comment. That's how I answer your question. I'm rambling in just a little bit. So last night at the surprise party that my wife did for me, I got a chance to disco dance to um, song "Disco Inferno" by the Tramps. Uh, Kaylee, she got a chance to do some Latin hustle with me. We did the twist, the turns and everything like that. So then I saw disco come in. Hey, oh, here goes something. I'm gonna get serious again. Women, do you realize you 1972, that's when you were actually allowed to have credit on your I teach this marketing class. I was teaching a marketing class. and I explained that to a lot of people. A lot of my they didn't realize that. They just you just assume that these rights were always given to you, and they weren't. So in the 1970s, that's when women got the right to have credit in their name. I always thought that was it's a good piece of history that sometimes gets overlooked and forgotten. We also saw in the 70s, saw the invention of the computer because Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, they were somehow they ended up working at Xerox when it was first put out. You know, these computers cost like $10,000 at the time. So I would imagine if $10,000 back then is probably $40,000 today. Saw the rise of disco. I just talked about Dan Haley last night at the party. Um, saw the rise. I'll never forget this. In 1979, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, Indiana State University and Michigan State played each other for the NCAA championship. And who knew at that time that these were going to be the guys that took the NBA to a whole new level? During the 70s, you don't know. The NBA would always be, even the championship game would be, it had already been played, but it would be then put on TV. So it was tape delayed, they used to call it. The NBA championship. Can you imagine that not being live? So I think I told you already, I went to every single Super Bowl. I have never missed a Super Bowl. I told you how it was both NBC, CBS. NBC had the AFL, CBS had I remember the first time, uh, I met, uh, two-time Heisman Trophy winner Reggie Griffin. That was really cool. We were, we were classmates. I also met my good friend, probably will watch this, Dr. Robert Harris. It's so funny, back in the day, we used to call him Doc. Now he is actually Dr. Robert Harris. So, very proud to be associated with great people like him. And my college roommate was Gary Jones. So listen, I'm not going to be talking much longer. I do want to say a couple more things that we saw. At my age, you see a lot of things. We saw the Berlin Wall come down. Um, and then in the 90s, at the time, I was the commercial markets marketing manager, and World Wide Web had just been invented in the 90s. It was pretty cool. Forgot to tell you something. Recently, Oprah Winfrey did a special on rise of Essence magazine. I when I got into advertising, I've been in advertising for 40 some years, and I was there at the beginning of Essence when we grew it um, from the 70s. I was there in the mid 80s, and which I love my career in advertising. It was wow. James Bragg is on the call. James Bragg is an architect here in Chicago and a classmate of mine at Ohio State. This brother, uh, him and a few other guys, they started their own fraternity. Also, I want to give a shout out to my frat brother, Gerald Diggs, and my frat special, Jeffrey Doggett, and whoever Beta Sigma. So that's a memory. My dad was a Mason. I am a Mason myself, Blue House member. Um, so then I belonged to an organization called Young Executives in Politics. And my wife, Cecilia, was also in that group. Um, if you're out there right now and you like what you're seeing, please hit the like button. But I just talked. So anyway, I met Cecilia. I had no idea that when I met her in 1988, 87, that 10 years later we would be married um, and raised. We've been married for, as you can tell, 28 years. And two boys, our son Anwar and Miles Thornton. And quick story about Anwar's name. His actual name. when he was born, my wife said, "Hey, is he going to be Luke Jr.?" And I thought about it. This is a spur of the moment decision. I thought about it and I said, "Listen, um, my grandfather's name was Luke. My dad's name was Luke. I'm Luke. And looking back at our family history, that was a slave name. My son is not going to be a slave. So, um, and so we don't want to claim that. So my wife and I made a decision. We were looking for somebody that we admired. Time we both admire. We've been talking about. We want somebody from Africa. And I know Egypt is, it's part of Africa. Sometimes they don't consider themselves part of Africa, but they are. And Anwar Sadat had won the Nobel Peace Prize. So my son's name is Samuel Anwar Thornton, and both names mean the same thing. Samuel means um, shaft of light, and Anwar means, or excuse me, light of God, and Anwar means shaft of light. So his name is the same. And if you've ever met, by the way, you can meet him on our other YouTube channel I do with him. It's called Talking College Football with Luke. We release a show every Thursday at 10 a.m. on our YouTube channel. Again, Talking College Football with Luke, with Endless Dan Pedraza and Endless Anwar. But when you meet Anwar, he's such a so as his brother Miles, and Miles is getting ready to become a. Um, he went back to college and is getting ready to finish up his degree. And when he finishes up, he will be an HVAC professional. So we're really excited about that. He graduates next August. My cats are trying to get in because they're like, "What's going on? You got the door closed." Um, so anyway, let's wrap this up. I see I got 6 more minutes that I'm going to talk about. Um, I had the opportunity to go see a young man who played basketball. He was at North Carolina. Next thing you know, I had season tickets to Bulls, and Michael Jordan's there. So not only did I see Michael Jordan come into the NBA, but I saw LeBron James as well. And I mean, listen, it's really great. Then I started thinking about you know, what's going on right now. As adults, we've seen things so unimaginable that it just blows your mind. We saw a complete financial collapse in 2008. And then we saw a president, Barack Obama, get elected. I never thought I would ever see a black man elected president of the United States. And for 8 years, I mean, we had the most prosperity we've had in the history of the world with him as president. It's amazing that in his second term, when he became a lame duck, how difficult it was for him to manage. Um, and then I'm going to move you into everything that we all just went through as a country, and that was COVID-19. So many millions of people died just in the United States, and then even more when you look around the world. Um, it was so eye-opening. So I'm going to wrap it up. I retired in December of 2023 when I was 68. So it was a big decision. I took the class on when to retire, what have you. Um, I wrote this book called um, what's the name of my book? One Family's Journey Investing in Real Estate. And my wife and I, we bought an apartment building, and then we bought some houses and we started flipping it. And as a result of that, I've enjoy um, great retirement. We've traveled. I just wish for anybody. And I'm looking at my cousin Mike, who's out there, Mike Weatherspoon, and looking at my nephew Chaz, and they seem to be doing it. I know Chaz and Kaylee, and then Alexis, and Ella, my sister Renee's oldest daughter, they're doing what I wish I had done when I was in. They're traveling, they're seeing the world. Ella has a YouTube channel, Ella got T YouTube, and you should check her out. This is a young lady, and she's got it going on. She's got an MBA. She went to Jackson undergrad. She went to Howard Business uh, for the MBA program. Um, my niece Alexis is on her way to being a doctor. She's pursuing her DC. So that's really cool. My nephew Chaz is doing well. My nephew Carter is an engineer. I forget the name of the trucking company he works for, but he's an engineer, and he is a like my son Anwar. Anwar does Muay Thai fighting. Carter does regular boxing, and Carter's undefeated. He's the state champ for Iowa, and had his first knockout about 2 weeks ago. So I don't want to leave anybody out. All I got to say is that man, these last 70 years, man, fantastic. Man, I've been to Mexico, Europe, you know, China. After that, the following we're going to. My wife has already been to Egypt and to um, South Africa. I know we did Morocco for no, we were on our way to Morocco. We ended up stopping. We didn't because we didn't know what was going on, so we didn't go to Morocco. But we'll probably be going to South Africa in 2027. I think that's the big. So anyway, I want to thank everybody who watches in the future or watches now that celebrating my 70th birthday with me. I've had so many good friends from high school to college. Uh, Lonnie Terry, gosh, I almost forgot you, brother. Thank you for tuning in. David Love, uh, tuning in. Um, Jackie Story Stevenson for being on. Terrence McReynolds, Willie Jones. You know, there's so many people I've met. I think about my good friend David Webb out there. I think I talked about him earlier. David was my roommate when I first lived in St. Louis before we moved to Dallas. Um, and then I ended up here in Chicago. Um, and with Diane Wilson, Erwin Boucher. I talked about Dr. Robert Harris, my good friend Deborah Chanel out in San Diego. There's so many people that have impacted my life that are close friends to this day. But anyway, um, thank you for all the greetings and salutations. And let's see, did I leave anybody out? Yes. Got to say hi to my brother-in-law Charles Stevenson and my sister-in-law Benita. So anyway, I am going to drink a cup of hot tea. My throat is starting to get sore. So here we go. Happy birthday to me. As you can see around the screen, it says Luke Thornton, Living Life. Please, if you like my content and you're interested in some of the other things I do, I just posted a new video where I talk about what the channel is all about. We're going to be talking about real estate investment. We're going to talk about vacationing, being healthy, staying fit, all those types of things. So until I see you again, subscribe and like, and I love you. I'll talk to you later.